Hello, I'm Jake, Mr. Jake, and I'm going to explain to you how professional wrestling works. In simple terms. In professional wrestling, for the most part, there are two kinds of characters, the so-called heels and the so-called babyfaces. Casual fans, like the people you get to see at the arenas with their little kids, seem to have difficulty grasping who they should be cheering for because they cheer the faces and boo the heels. And they're doing it all wrong. You see, it's the faces they should be booing, and it's the heels they should be cheering for. Let me illustrate that with examples, starting with a heel, that CM Punk fellow. Yes, I know that since his return from his hiatus he has been displaying some disturbing babyface-like behavior, but I'm sure he will find his way back to the right path soon enough. So let's talk about what he did on the last Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 29, just 1 week before WrestleMania. By then, CM Punk had already stolen The Undertaker's urn. And on that night, he took that urn and he smacked The Undertaker in the head with it. He opened up the urn and then he poured its contents all over the prone dead man, even smearing some of it across his chest. Casual fans took this as a sign of disrespect, and I don't know how they did that, because this is not about disrespect at all. No, what this was, it was an uncommon display of exceptional courage as well as brilliant strategy on the part of the straight-edge savior, the best wrestler in the world, CM Punk. Now, let me explain that. For starters, what CM Punk did that night made The Undertaker extremely angry. Because of this, The Undertaker would want nothing more but to hurt CM Punk at WrestleMania and hurt him very, very bad. CM Punk would have to suffer untold pain because of his actions on that Monday Night Raw. And CM Punk knew that. CM Punk knew the pain The Undertaker would eventually inflict upon him, and still he went through with his plan, still he did it, still he knocked out The Undertaker and poured the contents of the urn all over him. He did it anyway, and that is exactly why his actions are an uncommon display of an exceptional courage, because it takes a truly brave man to do something like that. Furthermore, what he did was extremely intelligent. It was brilliant strategy on his part, exactly because it made The Undertaker angry. In fact, it made The Undertaker so angry that he would not care about getting himself disqualified at WrestleMania. He would not care about winning or losing the match as long as he could hurt CM Punk. And the disqualification loss is still a loss. And since the disqualification became such a real possibility, CM Punk beating the streak, CM Punk ending The Undertaker's undefeated streak and becoming the one in 20-1 became a very real possibility after what he did on the Monday Night Raw just before WrestleMania. Now, whether or not these tactics paid off, whether or not he was able to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, is completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that what he did that night was not only an uncommon display of exceptional courage and bravery, but was also a display of intelligence, masterful, brilliant strategy on the part of CM Punk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should be cheering for the heels, because they are brave and intelligent people. So go and support CM Punk. Hell, I support CM Punk. I'm a CM Punk guy. Here, look, I even have his shirt. See? I don't wear it because it's not black, but I do have it. You know, in fact, there is quite a bit of black in this shirt. Not bad. Right. Let's talk about baby faces. Like that John Cena character. See, he's the guy you should be booing. You should not be booing him because he sucks. You should not be booing him because he's Superman. And you should not be booing him because he uses 5 to 10 moves in every match. All of that is true, but that's not why you should be booing him. No. You should be booing him because he's a coward, because he's stupid, and because he promotes idiotic behavior. Don't believe me? Did you see how he got suckered by Mark Henry just a couple of weeks ago? What kind of idiot falls for such an obvious ruse? Seriously. But you know what? I'll give you an even better example. Let's go back to 2010, to Survivor Series, when Randy Orton, reigning and defending WWE Champion, was facing Wade Barrett with special guest referee John Cena, who at the time was an employee of the challenger Wade Barrett. Now Wade Barrett told John Cena before this match that if Wade Barrett did not win the WWE Championship, then he would fire John Cena from the WWE. And what happened? What happened is that John Cena pretty much pushed Wade Barrett into an RKO by Randy Orton and then counted the 1, 2, 3 and got himself fired in the process. Let us analyze this situation. For starters, this was questionable officiating at best, but let's ignore that because that's the least of our worries right now, right? We're talking about 2010, okay? This is a time of bad economy when having a job is quite a commodity. What kind of idiot willingly loses his job at a time like this? In fact, what kind of idiot makes a referee decision that costs him his job at all? See, Shawn Michaels did not do that in 1997. No, Shawn Michaels made the referee decision that allowed him to keep his job. And then he had to put up with The Undertaker, but that's completely irrelevant. And besides, like CM Punk, Shawn Michaels was a brave man who was not afraid of The Undertaker. That's right, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, very brave individuals. The same cannot be said of one John Cena. You see, the reason why Cena did this unspeakably stupid thing at Survivor Series 2010 is that he was afraid of Randy Orton. He was terrified of Randy Orton. He has always been scared of Randy Orton, and he did not want to provoke the ire of Randy Orton by allowing Wade Barrett to win that match fair and square, and that is why he gave that match to Randy Orton instead. See, John Cena is not just stupid, he's also a coward. This is not a role model for little kids, okay? This is not the guy anyone should be looking up to because he's a coward and because he's an idiot. But to make matters even worse, to this day, he's proud of his actions at Survivor Series 2010. To this day, he claims that if put in the same situation, he would do the exact same thing all over again. In other words, John Cena promotes idiotic behavior as well as cowardice, which, in my opinion, should not be supported. And that is exactly why you should be booing baby faces, because they're cowards, because they're stupid, and because they promote idiotic behavior. Okay? So, now you know everything you need to know about professional wrestling. Support the heels like CM Punk and boo the baby faces, especially John Cena. Wait a minute. This is not what you people wanted to hear, is it? No. This isn't what you want to know about. No, you want to know whether or not professional wrestling matches are predetermined, whether or not the outcome is scripted. Isn't that right? Of course, that's what you want to know. Not a problem. I can help out with that as well. See, professional wrestling matches are